Welcome to TGS Insider. We have one viewer, two viewers, Maxwell's Hammer, and a whole bunch of other
I'm one of
people,
the viewers.
and one of the viewers. And I'm joined today with the Montreal Expos GM, uh, Mike ABC.
Hello, that's me.
Yeah, uh, I forgot to change your gain. I always
We
have to
can.
change gains between like you and Aster and Durden.
Ah,
Your mic is say something. Mic check.
just saying stuff
Oh, there we
because
go.
I was asked to say some stuff.
You're still high, but we'll fix it. We're good.
I'll just have to be. I'll have to enter my
ASMR.
smooth, not full ASMR, just like a hipster poetry voice.
Oh, okay. You can be excited. We support slam poetry here. Um,
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I just don't want to.
break our listeners'
Yeah,
ears.
yeah. I want to maintain some good balance for production value.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, but that's normal. That's status quo. Um, so tonight's an exciting night. Tonight is the opening sim of the 2031 season.
It's
Um,
true.
it is true.
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern.
So a little over, little under 5 hours from now.
Yeah. We because of the people who are in this online league, there's a lot of strategizing. There's a lot of modeling. There's a lot of uh, there's a lot of good players. This is the long and the short of it. Um,
That's
so
true.
we have a whole bunch of different projection systems, and so we have this is Saka, who's done by the Toronto Blue Jays. Um, we have my Zips projections, which I decided not to actually put any numbers and just kind of show Zips power rankings is what I called it.
Yep.
And then we
Uh,
have
I, I ca- I called it Zips, except it doesn't show how far behind we are, which is just a kindness.
yeah,
But it
uh,
looks like we're gonna do that anyway, so we
yeah.
bad.
And then Oracle is a one put out by Chimera, who apparently this was he was able to put something together within like 15 minutes because he is insane and does this for a living. So, just casually, I threw together some modeling casually. It took me 10 minutes. This is what I got. So, what the plan is for today is the plan is
Hold
yeah.
on just a moment here.
What?
This thinks I'm gonna have the second best rotation.
No, no,
Is
no.
that
It's
what that
negative.
means?
It's negative. So like
Oh,
it's
you
the
want
it's
negative
yeah,
is good?
yeah. It's the run suppression, I
Ah,
think,
ah.
and then it sums across. I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't quite understand, but um. So yeah. So I don't know exactly how the Blue
Oof.
Jays GM kind of goes through this, but they did show uh
Well, they said something in Discord about it being a tool for, I guess, managing, probably started out just managing his own team, uh, that, like looks at your whole roster and checks out, what it thinks should be your 26 man roster,
right.
and then provides ratings based on that.
Yeah. Where mine, I kind of naively, I took a sum of all the pitchers, and I took a sum of the max war value of each position a player is listed at. So it's like very, very accurate, and then summed it up, and then took the sum of those two things and did it in a neutral park. I think the Blue Jays GM said that um, he actually like uh, sets it to the park of the team as well when he's doing these projections, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're weighted based on the team's home park.
Right. Okay. And
Uh,
then
and this also thinks we're going to be bad.
I think Chimera's Phillies model is also in a generic park. I don't remember what he said.
Um,
Or it's all in like
I think it's all in Coors.
Coors. Yeah. Okay. Chimera loves stuff in Coors. Um. So yeah. So let's kind of I guess look at some of these. Or I don't know. Is there anywhere? Let's start with Succa, and then we'll jump in and out of the client.
Sure.
Um, what do you want to see, if anything? I have a few ideas,
Uh,
but
I don't know, man. What are we looking to talk about here?
let's look at the Cleveland Spiders. Let's see. So Cleveland
Sure.
Spiders last year they had 74 wins. This year they're projected for 88 wins. So if we
Last year, uh, the team was not set up for success in maybe the way it could have been.
let's go take a look at
So
Cleveland. Let's jump around. Actually, I think
when it became clear to me, like 3 weeks into last season, after the first 3 or 4 major injuries the Expos sustained, that we weren't even competing for mediocrity. We were just like kind of first draft pick or bust. And Cleveland was right there with me. I want to say in early May. And so, I went to check them out because you always want to know where the competition is at. And I was really confused because on paper, that was a like playoff level team that was just not putting it together. So, there's a new GM this year, friend of the stream, Vulcan.
Oh, right.
I can say that, right?
Yeah.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
Uh, has taken over the Cleveland Spiders starting with the 2031 season. So uh,
So
I think
we're
it's fair to say the team is in good hands.
Yeah, so this was the league standings last year. So Sparrow and the Oakland Athletics were 99. Kidneys.
Really, I don't think any of the top teams there were surprising.
Yeah, the Cowboys, who have rebranded now to the Royals. Vulcan is number one. Yeah. But yeah, then we had Kidneys, Astros as another expansion team, and yeah, Cleveland finished ahead of them. Let's just quickly look. Luke Menendez, 23-year-old Luke Menendez, who is a corner outfield threat.
Yeah, that guy's a problem.
Um, Great walk rate, decent BABIP, uh,
Yeah,
okay power.
runs the bases well enough, gets on base a lot. Like, you know, plus I probably about average BABIP, but with a 70 I tacked onto that, he'll have a nice healthy on base percentage.
Yeah.
Runs the bases pretty well. You probably want to be careful letting him steal, but if you're set up right, he gets you maybe 10 a year without being too much of a liability.
So the Spiders actually ended up 19 and 11 in spring training. So they were out there. Mm,
Yeah, I mean, like
they,
it's usually hard to tell what's going on based on spring training because people set their teams up in very different ways. Sometimes in very non-traditional ways, particularly when it comes to pitching. And like players are subbed in and out every few innings, so uh, going 19 and 11 is a good sign, but it's not necessarily like an indication that a major corner has been turned. Now that said, going into your first spring training with your team, like first season in a league like this, I would want to kind of like push my team a little bit to see what it has. So I wouldn't be surprised if Vulcan kind of went for it just to see how his players performed. Right? He hasn't played with any of these guys before, so
yeah, and I know he's talked with a bunch of us about uh, also trying to understand like what's going on. This was an interesting pick that the former GM made. There, they called him up early. He's not fully trained at shortstop, but having a 65 power VR shortstop is a little insane. Um, Definitely, like you probably would want to see that fully trained, but he's probably gonna be a bit of a menace. But it's until he's fully trained, I doubt he's probably going to be a little bit negative in terms of value. This was an interesting guy that I was looking at before, and I was like, how is he? How is he like on? How is he a free agent? Like
Hmm.
60, 75, 60, 65, and then like he can. There are
I mean,
guys
the
in the
answer
league.
has to be the defense, right?
No, 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 no. The answer is this. He
Oh, sure.
he missed let's see 8 days, let's assume 21 days, so 29 days, 36 days, 38 days, 43 days,
Yeah,
five
yeah, I
weeks
got it.
78 days,
I got it.
99
Yep.
days. He was injured for more than 100 days, and the season's what, like 150, 160 days. No,
Season's
100,
somewhere around
180.
185-ish. Yeah.
He got caught not rifling. So the contract for Stanberry, it's he's young, he's great, he's immediate conditional release. He's young, he's great. Uh, this is not that bad. I feel like if you can get half a season of this bat at DH for six
I think it's
million,
fine.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not excited by it, but it's fine.
yeah.
I
Who
think
else?
that's a lot of I'm more concerned about the time than the money. Like you're committed to this guy for 3 years, and he's already shown that he has no intention of being on the field for a full season. So,
Yeah,
like,
but
who says his leg doesn't fall off?
what have been all his injuries anyways? Right knee, upper body, right leg, back, left leg. Oh yeah, so maybe his legs. Maybe he turns into Lieutenant Dan.
Maybe he turns into Mr. Potato Man and the dog runs away with all his bits.
I don't understand that, but okay.
Do you not know Mr. Potato Man?
No,
Mr. Potato Head?
Mr. Potato Head. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay. Lonnie Lamberson has been a mainstay in TGS. If we just kind of look at his like batting WAR, I think this must be. Oh, he had signed an extension. I don't know if this is a Vulcan extension, but he's 27. He's staying in Cleveland for 3 more years. Maybe, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh no, no,
Okay.
no, Ludwig. That guy. That was Stanberry wasn't with Cleveland with all those injuries, so maybe Cleveland has a better trainer. Um, but yeah, Lamberson, really good.
Yeah.
Probably the great, like the best, one of like top three catchers. I want to say. Um,
And very good with a good personality and also fan favorite.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
good low, nothing too crazy. Melville's pretty good. Melville's great. I
Melville's
love it.
quite good.
So, uh, a lot to be excited about. Neil Brunker is kind of a reverse Bilbrey. I want to say better Bilbrey, um, who's also being paid for 70. Lamberson is probably a top two or even top one catcher. Who do you think is better? DRC's guys, if I can find them.
I'm gonna go ahead and just put it out there that I know far less about all of the players around the league because I was not the one shopping
We
for
we
for for free agents to trade or for players to trade
No,
for.
you decided to get a minor league system.
It's true.
We can
We
pivot
spent
to that.
we spent a little bit on international free agents, and by a little bit I mean like $56.5 million, which
Um,
does not include the 51.5 million in taxes on top of it. Um,
but yeah,
but like when you've got nothing and you want something and you have a giant pile of money and you're not going to win spending it on free agents, you find the next best thing to put the money into and you put it there.
all right. We'll go to the National League in a second.
See,
Before we
Stucca even thinks I'm going to do better than I did last year.
Yeah, +4. That's awesome. Um, that's a human.
Of
Yeah.
course, it's 8 wins less than it thought I was going to get last year with a worse team, but
I just want to go and take a look at Minnesota for a second. If I do
sure,
this,
Minnesota's very good.
Minnesota is very good. This is the
Minnesota is the kind of franchise that you want to have.
so Minnesota was they took the traditional rebuilding route. 46 wins, 48 win. Oh no, I'm not showing this. Minnesota has had 46 wins, 48 wins, 64, and then they finally turned the corner after 3 seasons. Had 98 wins. They were second. If I knew how to navigate this better. Yeah, yeah. So they were just behind, one win behind. Uh, they beat they beat Kansas City in four games in the playoffs, and then they lost in seven to Sparrow. Uh, this was a team. Darius Rivera, who is very, 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 very good. Very, very good. Very, 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 very good. Um, Probably one of the best. Like he's like left-handed Mike Trout, I guess. Even trying. Who else is here? Emery Nichols was another person that they picked up and immediately started playing, which makes sense when you draft a guy. And I'm pretty sure he hasn't really developed since he drafted back in 2029. Um, but yeah, Nichols I think put up 4 WAR. That's a little silly. Who else is here? Cruz. I don't know much about this guy, but can play some third. Can hit some dongs. Get some walks. Rod Thibodeau was a new guy. Daniel Gamble. This is a very scary guy. Again, left-handed. Great corner outfield. I don't know. This is just a very scary team. Uh, Trey Rickerson. What was he? He won the Cy Young last year. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so Minnesota being on top, not that surprising. Uh, I guess it's a little surprising that like you got Gamble and you got Kerbo. Oh, we forgot to talk about Kerbo. He's another very scary guy. Because he was. Where is Kerbo? Did you not call him up? John Copolella? Was Kerbo a trade? I don't remember.
I have no idea.
Dylan. Oh, if I could spell his name properly, it would help. Oh, that's
Do
Milwaukee.
people trade a
No,
lot
no,
in this
no.
league? A decent amount.
No.
There are
Yeah.
definitely players that like don't trade much, and then there are other players who are just like wheeling and dealing. I imagine it's kind of an average amount.
For legal international.
More,
Oh,
more, more than in any fantasy football league I've ever been in.
yeah. So we sim during the regular season. We sim Sunday nights, and then we sim Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Sunday
and
mornings or like
Sorry,
afternoon.
Sunday mornings. So tonight's sim is a special sim because we try to align so that every sim starts on a Monday, in game. But
Yep. But there's a everyone plays a 4 game series. The season starts on Thursday, so we play through the first weekend and then get back on our normal schedule.
yeah, but I feel like every sim there's at least a couple of trades or something happening.
Yeah, for
Uh,
the most part.
I would say like I'd say we have about like 70% like really active participation, which this is my first online league, and I'd say that's pretty
Feels
unusual.
exceptional.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So, but it's carefully curated to be that way. So,
Okay. Before we finish with the AL, let's take a look at your uh, first pick nemesis, the Chicago White Sox. Just because,
uh, sure.
there's storylines here, right? Like this is content. Geraldo Madrano is a shoe in Hall of Famer in this league. He, or I guess if I go wherever, go to scouting, he was very, 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 very good. 80 contact, not a lot of power. We started this league, I think, in 20 OTP 22, so power still hadn't been fixed, and so like a guy like Madrano with his BABIP focused profile, like was pretty much a god, and you can kind of see that like 8 wins, like several seasons in a row. Uh, yeah, it was just from when we started in 2022. He's already at like 92 career WAR. I picked him up as a uh, fan interest bump
Yep.
and uh, decided not to play him. Um, so he has like a ton of numbers and like career, um, like exceptional things that can happen. So yeah, the White Sox GM has decided, I'm going to DH him and bat him leadoff, and I'm like, guess if you're going to do that, then sure. Calvin McKinney, he's on a bit of a decline, losing contact.
Just
Uh,
just a bit of decline.
eh, he's fallen off a cliff. But again, like you can just see all the red numbers down here, all the categories he's led. Uh, so I think they're banking on a lot of retirements upcoming. Who else? Isaiah Godoy, he's young. Russ Cron, not I don't think he's as 43 WAR in his career. He's 36. Jean Pierre Ricard, he's another. Did he lose? I thought he ran. Uh, a lot of people, in the sunset of their careers, I want to say. Uh, and then they ended up getting someone like Neil Siddle in a trade with Cincinnati. Siddle is very, very good. Um, should probably do better than the numbers in Cincinnati. Maybe not just because.
No, I mean that profile is not going to love being in Great American Ballpark.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know that it'll love being in this ballpark either.
yeah. Heredia, interesting. Probably a little bit better. Obviously, going to struggle with the walks. Cagle, I think. Yeah, Cagle played for me last year in the bullpen. Um, so yeah, so
No,
I
2 years ago in the bullpen.
oh yeah, oh right, it's 2031. Um, who else is kind of Ricard, Caden? Oh oh Lord, oh Lord.
This
Uh,
this team this team is very bad.
yeah. Um,
This team is intentionally very bad,
yeah,
and my
yeah.
team may still be worse, according to a number of predictions. So
Uh,
so I feel great.
So yeah, so there's other guys like Burglar. Okay. Let's go back. So, now let's look at the NL. Can you guys
Can we
change?
change park factors? We in the off season once every so often, and it costs money.
Yeah, we role play it a little bit, and it's like renovations to the stadium, and renovations to the stadium have a cost to it, and yada yada yada, and it gets like spread out over 5 to 10 years. I don't
I think it's like
remember.
15 million a year for 5 years or something that comes out of your budget.
Yeah, so it's just like a flat. You don't just. Oh, I wish.
Man,
So um, yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the Phillies. So the Phillies were a team. They're predicted at least in Succa to go up 9. Um,
the Phillies had a bit of a rough year last year, but I like a lot of the pickups they made in free agency.
yeah, so they decided to go. I don't even know what stadium this is. I think this isn't Coors.
That's course.
This
Oh,
is
isn't
Coors.
it?
I don't.
It's is it, I feel like it was chorus.
Uh,
I'm pretty sure it's chorus. It might be reverse chorus. I don't know.
Regardless, this is a super offensive ballpark, and I guess kind of looking at. Actually, can we look at the transactions, the organizations, transaction logs? This is not. Is it in the? Oh, we got rid of like the off-season center, so it's kind of hard to see who the big pickups are. Um, Regardless, we can kind of come in here and we can kind of, you know, sort by overall. Monroe was someone who played the entire season, but is likely, I think, Chimera's indicated that he's going to be starting in AAA. Um Shield was a first round pick back in 2026. Very, very, very good. Um,
Yeah, that
Whenever
guy's
you can
crazy.
get like 60 plus contact at a key position, I think that's very good. High bunt for hit. So, um, and the running. So, in his park, how many doubles? 37 doubles. Uh, where is the crazy guy? Um, the guy
The
who
crazy guy.
no, last year he had like a 70% triple rate or something like that.
Oh, I don't remember who that is.
Uh, Triples. Your Denny Ponte, this guy, who had 18 doubles, 18 triples in
Oh yeah.
111 games. Uh, this was a fun player. Chimera would always chime in every other sim, being like, "Yep, he's up to 6 triples now. He's up to like 10 triples now." And unfortunately, he fractured his thumb in September. So at the end of September, so I think it was like he missed out on the last two sims or something like that.
He didn't have the opportunity to have more triples than doubles, which is the thing that would have been fun.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm not sure if he's just not playing him this time. But
I don't
well,
know. There are a bunch of former Expos on this team.
oh,
Here's one of them.
and hello, Mafia Angelo, uh, who's very good. Uh,
He is an outstanding hitter, uh, VR and unplayable VL.
yeah,
Right? Like he's just acceptable enough defensively that you can play him in left field because his bat is so good VR.
yeah.
Uh, it does not work. It does not work VL at all. So, um, but like getting him for 8.5 million a year for 2 years is, I think, a nice get. De La Rosa is also very good. VL bat. He's a guy that I was hoping to trade at the deadline last year, but he blew out his knee in April. So
Oh, he
he's
was
come.
he,
He's
yeah, he was out for 7 months.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, he had an absolutely torrid start to the year, and then blew out his knee running the bases, and I never saw him again.
Bye, Felicia.
I meant to re-sign him, but like by the time I actually convinced myself to do it, like push the button, he had changed his mind. So now
No,
he's a Philly, and that's okay.
uh, not
On a
not quite.
very reasonable deal.
Yeah, I guess he for that Chimera probably is the person who leans in the most to like base running and whatnot. So
Yeah, probably so.
I guess we go look at UBR. Monroe is cut. Basically, if you have a negative UBR, you get cut from the Phillies.
Chandra Bainham was an expo last year. He's got a really interesting profile. I love that he's being played in left field.
Oh yeah, this was with Jacinto Nunez.
Yep.
Poncho. This guy is no comment. We talked about this earlier today.
Yep. Yeah, I
Uh,
was basically just saying I really hope this guy fully develops because he has the chance to be one of my favorite players.
oh, and he's
Not like
super versatile too. Like,
yeah, not like the best player, but fun.
oh yeah, yeah.
So
If that gap rate fills in with the speed, like
yep,
that's gonna be pretty funny.
that's the hope.
Liam McAfee. This was a guy. Oh, I was planning on asking about getting this guy. Hmm. Too late now. Let's see. Anyone else? Mitchell Liberty. Did he come from Montreal? No. Oh,
No,
that's a profile. Oh, wait. Who was it? Who were we just talking about?
Jacinto Nunez.
No, 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 not Nunez. But he was in the Nunez trade. Um,
Chandra Bainham.
yeah, I have never seen this kind of defensive profile.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, huh?
60 outfield range, 30 air, 35 arm. That's weird.
I mean, honestly, it's probably okay,
Yeah, like I
right?
feel like
Like
outfield errors.
I think this is a better profile than Mafi's for left field.
Right,
And Mafi's just straight 45s, straight down.
right.
So, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. In retrospect, I'm a little mad at myself for not giving that a try while he was on my team.
Yeah,
Uh, I think it's I don't know. I enjoy players that are unique in some way, but still valuable, right? Like I don't want to just play a guy to play a guy. Like this, oh, nobody plays this traffic cone at second base. I'm gonna do it. Um,
like a Aor, the
but
Vegas.
oh,
I don't think he's a
he's
traffic.
no, no, no.
No,
He's perfectly good
yeah,
defensively.
no, he's good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, he looks more like a third baseman than a second baseman, but
he would probably. I think his value would be like significantly better at third. But all right. So that's the AL. Or no, that was the. This was no. We're
that
talking about
was
the NL.
one team in the NL.
One team in the NL. Who else do we want to talk about here?
Should probably talk about the Pirates.
No, it's just cursing, ruining my season. The Pirates. I've done a lot of silly things. If we go and we look at
The
salaries,
Pirates have been very aggressive in their talent acquisition this offseason.
if there is I've used the GIF of the little girl from Willy Wonka and the chocolate factory being like, "I want it now." Like giving Terry Hooper $26.5 million to platoon right field. Um, Slight overpay, but uh,
But you got your guy.
I got my
So
guy. I got a popular left fielder, and I think I messed up. Oh no, no, no! I just have team options. So, depending on what I want
no,
to do next
the
year,
one you messed up was Perez, right?
Esparza.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Esparza, I tried to be too cute, and meant to turn these into team options. That never happened. So now I'm paying Esparza, 23 million for the first 2 years, and then 40 million, doubling his. I don't think he's gonna opt out. So that's gonna be a problem in 2 years. But you
Well,
know,
you never know. Players will often opt out when it doesn't feel like they should
but
because they don't remember what happened the last time they were on the open market.
uh, from the numbers I run, Esparza is worthwhile to play him full time. Uh, this is VL decent enough.
Yeah, so it seems totally fine to me.
My big trade in the off season was this Eddie Bilbrey trade, who I'm planning on playing him in center field unplatooned. Um, Gave up a lot. Gabriel Martinez, who is the second ranked prospect, he was the first ranked prospect. Um, Great infield profile, great outfield profile, can play everywhere. The concern is he's 20 years old.
Yes, he is already 20, can't play in low A ball yet.
Uh,
So is he going to run out of time to develop?
yeah, he's still okay for rookie minus. He still has one more year, and no, yeah, he can start next year in rookie minus. So
Sure.
the idea is, hopefully he's a late bloomer. Um, I hope he's not, but for
I think as far as the trade goes, I think he was worth taking a flyer on from the Browns' perspective.
yeah, I tried like
Right? It's
I
like
was
a high risk, high reward kind of return.
I was talking to, I think, Kidneys about this, and just in general, he's like, you seem to overpay a lot for the trades that you make, but you actually make trades, and I feel like um, I want to get the people I want, and
Hmm.
if that means giving up too much, then so be it, type of thing. Which I guess is
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, so there are a number of different philosophies on this, right?
right.
Um, People, and I suspect this is true even with real GMs of real teams. People always value their own players more highly than they should
Oh, okay.
because like there's an emotional attachment there, right? Like I feel very comfortable with this player. I know how he does. I know what the value is. Um, and I'm not as comfortable with whatever someone else would be offering to me. So, I think a lot of people are not inclined to make trades that are slightly in their favor, maybe, or close to even.
It's super hard, and I think
Yeah, well,
there's
I mean, like people always want to win trades, right? It's just how people are. Um,
I think
so
that
if you oh,
I,
go ahead.
I think that's where uh like everyone kind of like, oh, it was something someone said a few years ago or a few in-game seasons ago, where it's like everyone wants to be Alex Anthopoulos,
Sure.
and like everyone like wants to be Jerry Dipoto, and like maybe Jerry Dipoto in like the past like 2 seasons hasn't been, um doesn't seem to have been winning a lot of the trades that he's been doing.
Hmm.
Um, but like in prior to that, like, wheeling and dealing and winning, and then like Anthopoulos just like magicking whatever, uh,
Sure.
100
Um,
best team in the 2020s, I guess.
so what I was gonna sort of end on there was that if you've identified a player that you want for what you're building, like this guy is perfect. He's at the right age. He's going to peak at the right time. His window lines up with our window. He fills a need and all of these things. Players like that are sufficiently rare that it can be worth going and getting one, right? And if the team that you're trying to get it from is not actively interested in selling that player, you're going to have to pay a premium. Like you just are.
Yep.
So uh, I don't even know if it's that fair to say you overpaid because a number of the players you went out and got weren't for sale, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
sort of you had to convince people to move them. So you did.
I think that's where like the participation and the modeling and all this types of things kind of go in, where it's like it goes back to like Moneyball and Billy Bean and being like, well, we need to find like market inefficiencies and like,
Sure. Yeah, I mean you can do all of that, sure, of course. Um, and I'm doing the low tech vibes based version of that, uh,
you're just
which
smart.
is which is that no, I mean like I don't think I'm that much smarter than everyone else here.
Right.
Um, if I am at all. But uh I said something and I immediately regretted it and my brain is just fixating on that now. Um what was I even talking about?
Your vibes, the
Oh
vibometer,
yeah, 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 yeah.
bulletin board material.
I've built my team to have an identity that is different than a lot of the teams in the league,
All
right?
right.
My team is not focused on power. My
Okay.
team is
Well,
like
this
I
is your
am
park
home run
factors.
agnostic. Yeah, so here's my park. Um, it's a little bit tricky. If I were building for this imperfect team, I would have like left-handed, slappy defensive-oriented players and some more balanced right-handed hitters. But I'd care more about gap and base running and speed than power because it's just hard to get the ball out of Kauffman Stadium, which is what this is. This is Kauffman from 2018 to 2020. Um, so it wasn't so much that like I had a model that said like this is the inefficiency and here's where you get your value. It was just like this is a thing that other people don't really seem to be doing.
Did
Let's do that.
so
That sounds fun.
so when you were approached by, I guess, Chimera or whatever, and you got to pick your ballpark,
Sure.
was that, did you pick your ballpark thinking about how to, what the type of team you wanted to build at the moment, or was this just like you had the list and you looked at it and you're just like, hey, Kaufman sounds like a place I really would love to play in. Said no
A
one
little of
ever.
both. A little of both. I came in thinking like I want not like a grossly extreme park, but something with meaningful splits. Because it just makes like team building more interesting, right? I'm not just trying to find the generic best hitters at whatever positions. Um, and Kaufman fit the bill. Also, I've never been, but in terms of aesthetics, for me, Kaufman's like top three in the league. It's an absolutely gorgeous park, and and playing there is cool. So,
I
yeah,
just have
like
scar
this.
tissue from 2015. 2015? This is 2015.
That's the year they won.
Was that the year that? Oh, that was the year they beat the Jays too, right? In the.
Uh, I don't remember what happened after they ran through the Orioles.
Yeah, it's probably that. I don't know. Stangle, if you're on, let me know. Um, my mind is mush right now.
But like, so I mean, I haven't thought too deeply about it, and I certainly haven't done any modeling. But um, the philosophy here is just kind of like, all right, we're just gonna not worry about home runs as much.
So you have
Um,
four lefties and one, two, three, four, five, six, seven righties. But I don't know if this is your final team. It's 14 players, but
yeah, this is I
Close
mean, it's
enough.
not what I'm going to wind up with in mid-May, but
Yeah.
um, it's it's close enough.
Uh, so who do you like? You you got Maddox, which was a great get from Toronto. Ex
Yeah,
Pirates legend.
there are a lot of ex-Pirates on my team.
Yeah.
A lot of ex-Reds also.
Um,
We've got some real NL Central flavor.
Santiago Castillo. He was another expansion draft pick.
But yeah, and he's just sort of here, warming the seat for Reskin McGuire,
Who do you want?
because he's out of options anyway.
Oh, okay.
Who do I want?
Who do you want to talk about?
So like Julian McLaughlin,
Okay.
is a
Oops.
really fun player for me. This is a guy I got in the second round of the Rule 5 draft. He is not a traditional first baseman. I don't think he has the glove to play anywhere else in the infield. Um, and
Or the
like I
outfield.
certainly don't want to try him in the outfield.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at that VL bat, right? Um,
Let-
he won't hit any home runs. I mean, like he may hit a couple.
So what happened? He hit for the cycle back in 2025 against the South
Yeah, well, I
Carolina
mean that
Gamecocks.
fully explains why he got where he is.
What happened? So he was drafted in the third round. He's a third round draft pick by wait till next year. The Detroit Tigers. Um,
It's what Tigger
Detroit Tigers was traded to the Giants. Was
with
claimed off
Jean-Pierre Ricard
with John Pierre, famous John Pierre. I wish there
and
was
then
an
just
easier
hung out
way.
in the Angels farm system for a long time.
Was claimed by Anaheim,
Yep.
as Bull Cubs is known to do. The Anaheim's manager, and then yeah, was picked up.
Yeah. So like, do I think this guy's a world beater? Absolutely not. But
He could be though.
is he gonna do some fun things? I sure think he will. I think he's gonna hit a lot of doubles in my park. He's gonna play very good defense at first base for what that's worth. Um,
I'm a little
he
like
runs the bases really well. The bunt skill is not useless.
yeah. We like you've brought this guy up to me a lot in the past, whatever off
Yeah.
season, and like the more I look at it, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if he ends the season if you play him full time, like for WAR maybe something crazy like that.
I, so I'm starting him VL. He'll
Oh, okay.
almost definitely play some VR also. But like
Cause
he's
like
playing on the opposite side of the platoon to Pogodzinski.
okay, so like yeah, he's
You know,
positive value.
he could put up 0 WAR, he could put up 2 WAR. I have no
Yeah,
idea. But just because the shape of the bat is something you'd normally hope to have on like a rangy shortstop or second baseman,
hmm.
uh, doesn't mean
Well, no.
doesn't mean
Like
it's
if you put this, if you put the if you gave him 70 infield range or 70 outfield range, I think this is like
oh
a
he'd
top
be
five player.
yeah, he'd be absolutely elite, right?
Yeah,
But so like, can you make this bat work at first base? We're gonna find out.
it's just a different profile. Like I think this was something how I built my team last year, where I leaned in more into power, and like even this year, I've leaned even more into power. Like I think um, getting more singles, getting more hits is like an interesting like corollary or collar, whatever it is,
Corollary?
corollary, corollary uh, to that kind of like build. And like considering your park, I think that's like 100% like a great way to build a team.
Yeah. So that like that's part of it. The other half of the same, it's really, I guess, the other side of the same coin, um, is that I feel like people overvalue movement a bit.
Right.
Um, which not terribly shocking. Um, but if I think that's where the imbalance is in the market, how do you react to that? Well, um, if you think people are overpaying for movement, then you should underpay for power.
Yeah,
Uh, like refuse to pay, I guess, refuse to spend good money for power. Um, and you should sign the low movement pitchers yourself for cheap, which is what I have been doing.
like if we go and we look at your entire players in your org and we look at who's the top power guy, like you have Sixto Martinez,
Yeah,
uh, with 60 power, um, and
who's
then
like a very
Maddox,
solid quad A guy.
Monty Collin.
Monty Collin, he of the weirdly shaped bat.
Uh, he's whatever. He's like he's probably gonna be a 300 batting average guy, a three and a half, five guy, maybe 500 slugging. I could see him.
I mean, that'd be pretty good. I'd be very happy to get that out of him.
I think in your park, probably like 350, 450.
Not so bad.
Yeah. Uh,
Um, but yeah,
then
like if you look at pitching real quick,
yeah,
uh,
Adam Sompali.
I just don't have a whole lot in the way of movement in any of my pitchers, really.
60.
Uh,
I think like I've whoa, wow, this is he a righty? No, he's a lefty.
yeah, he's the one specialist I have in my pen. He's set as a lefty specialist, and he was very good at it last year.
Is he, this is his second year? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's one of the few expansion draft picks that like really stuck and is going to stick.
Hmm. Good 150 for a lefty specialist is pretty great value with, good peripherals and everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
love
and
it.
like I'll probably get to throw him a little bit more this year. So,
Mm.
uh, but like Guntel and Cook are both just like kind of 60-60-60-ish innings eating uh like middle relief.
Yeah, Cavicom, we uh the budgets are uh the budgets are kind of dictated in game based
They're based on your
on,
fan interest and the prices at which you set your tickets
yeah, so if we come in here and
and
we
all
look at
all of these
like
things.
budget, so the Cubs, who is crazy, then the A's, Blue Jays, Reds, Yankees. So we're St. Louis is down at a 164. I'm at 194. Did I pass Montreal?
I'm at
Oh,
210.
yeah. I messed up with my
Sort by payroll because that's funny.
where's payroll? Oh, yeah. Okay, 40 million.
So this is the what's amusing here for me anyway. Um, my team's payroll last year was $110 million, and we won 56 games.
Yep.
Uh, so I think we're going to win more games on 40% of the payroll, which is it feels nice. Um, as we mentioned earlier, I kind of threw all of my money at international free agents or international amateur free agents in particular.
Go look at expenses. You have the most expenses.
Well, yeah, and it's not close, right? Like because I hard committed money to that. So
Right.
we brought in 17 players, um, and a handful of them are really good prospects. This is just like, how do I get caught up on not having a good minor league system, right? Because like we spawned with, I want to say both rookie leagues and low A ball were full. No, it was both rookie leagues and winter ball were both full of like auto-generated players that were between 16 and 19 and like were as good as I would be in real life right now, basically. Which is to say, I've held a glove before. Uh, I know which end of the bat to hold, right?
Uh,
But like that level of player. So uh, we rather than trying to just like buy up free agents and compete, what I've done is try to put together as competitive a roster as I can on a relatively small budget, and then funnel the rest into long-term team growth because I want to do
and
this for a while. And
and you want to sign this guy?
well, that's kind of a corollary, right? Like that
Oh,
wasn't the intent wasn't necessarily like let's do this and then go sign that guy. Um, however, obviously going into next season with like $150 million in budget room, I will be as well positioned as anyone to offer Emoto some ridiculous contract if I would like.
$150 million AAV.
Yeah, no, not that ridiculous.
No, okay,
Um,
but he
I
doesn't
don't
run.
know. I don't know what he's worth, right?
Uh,
And he will probably get overpaid, and it will
well, so
probably still be worth it for someone, assuming he stays healthy.
okay, so we had a couple of people, right? We had Yamamoto came in 2 seasons ago. No, last or yeah, so 2029 to 2030. So he was posted.
Oh, it's my guy, Japan Ugla.
Japan Ugla? Dan Ugla?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
This
okay.
was it's just like his batting profile when he was originally being
A
shopped
prospect?
around, like when he was on the market,
Oh, I see.
uh, or when he was like faux posted or whatever, however we handle that.
Yeah.
Um, he was like a good but not great defensive second baseman with a bat, where it's like he's got power and also he'll strike out a ton. It's like, oh yeah, that's Dan Ugla. Oh, he's Japan Ugla. I really wanted that to be his nickname, but I didn't sign him, so I had no say.
Had we already like were you already in the league by this point? I don't remember
Yep.
the
Yeah,
timing.
I
Oh,
was in the
okay.
league when he came in. I
Oh,
was
okay.
not going to pay anywhere near what the Red Sox wound up paying.
Yeah, so they paid whatever 580. Um they had 1 season. He put up 3 WAR as a second baseman, decent. Second baseman.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing
Be
wrong.
very happy getting that out of the level of investment that was put in.
Yeah, I think the numbers look like it's between like 9 and 11 million per war, or something stupid like that. Like so getting 3 WAR for 18 is you're basically kind of doubling your money, maybe 14. I don't know. It's worth it basically was the gist of it. And then
Oh, sure.
who is it that
But Omoto is such a unique and singular kind of player is the thing, right? Like,
who's the pitcher that we Sancho? I always mess
oh,
this up.
Sancho Pagan.
Yeah. So Sancho Bagan was the person that got posted this season.
And
Unfortunately,
immediately fell down the stairs.
he fell down the stairs and now he has a herniated disc, which is unfortunate. But he's 2 times 22. Um, look at all these awards. Uh, that's crazy. And yeah, he still throws
Well,
well.
he was by far the best pitcher in the history of the Mexican League. So,
It's kind of funny. Like, yeah, there are not good pitchers there. Although
is this
20,
guy worth 22 million?
you got an X. You
The
get
the
you
the
get
answer is yes, specifically because he came with a 25 fan interest bump.
yeah.
It was a one-time like the entire nation of Mexico is going to follow this guy. Actually, in that sense, I think it's very appropriate that he went to Arizona in particular. I think if I
Funny.
were a Mexican League Hall of Famer and I wanted to, just like in the twilight of my career, see if I could have made it in the bigs.
So
Arizona's like the team I would want to play for.
yeah, so it was a 20 fan interest bump, I think, or something like that. So
25. Yeah.
25. So yeah, so basically Arizona went from, a 75, which would have been the bottom third percentile or whatever, to, average, I guess. Um, and that probably should reflect with their uh, revenue. I don't know. I don't know how this works. Revenue, yeah. So their projected revenue is higher. Yeah. Okay. Who else in projections do we want to look at? Hammers. They made the playoffs last year. They're down. Arizona's up. We can take a quick look at the Hammers, I guess.
Sure. And again, you have paid much more attention to these other teams than I have because how I interact with other teams doesn't really matter for another year or two.
Yeah. You're just biding your time.
Well,
Uh,
I'm just like slowly building up the team from nothing. So,
yeah.
right, like I have what happened is a number of times people were posting, talking about some kind of middling but young prospect that they were looking to trade, and it's like, what do you want for this guy? And the answer is nothing that I have.
Right.
Right? There's just like nothing that wouldn't either be wildly overpay or not nearly enough. So
Uh, so yeah, so the Hammers, they had Jake Schmidt, whatever, Pinocchio himself, or into a real boy, back in 2028, 2029. I think his 2029 season, was injured for like half of the season, 3 to 4 months. That was 2028. 3 weeks, 1 week, 5 weeks. So 2030, Jake Schmidt, not really that. Looks like he missed maybe like 5 weeks, which is like really good for him. Put up 6 WAR, insane numbers at third. Again, probably Atlanta lives by Jake Schmidt, dies by Jake Schmidt. Uh, Picked up Rod Cusack on a 1 year deal for 20 million, which is a good get, I think. Yeah, this is a good guy. Cannon Stokes, he's kind of gone downhill. He was a guy I had and I traded. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Summerall is a young guy who, basically, I had to convince Jericho to play. Ran some numbers. It was like, hey, Summerall is actually pretty good. You should just play him. Um, and yeah, so a big thing is DJ Jones. Justin Discord, Jericho said whatever. DJ Jones, could be an all-star shortstop. I think so. I think the AVK is kind of interesting. Uh, Meaning like he's gonna put a lot of balls in play. Probably gonna be a lot of double plays. Just because of the speed.
the bat is not good.
The bat's not good, but like
The defense is very good.
the defense
So
is very good. But I just wonder, like, for if you wanted to have a high value anywhere with a, like, if you could arrange this, say 45 40 35 30 60, and I'll use those values anywhere, like, it's not the most efficient, but I think like AVK is probably a little bit better. Like, I think if you put it in the contact instead of AVK, that's obviously like likely best. Or if you put it
I
in the
I would just
power,
build Eugene Hart, honestly.
Eugene Hart. Let's take a look. Uh, Yeah, I guess it's pretty close. I think the eye helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, just like in terms of, yeah, I wish his numbers were slightly higher to match DJ Jones's, but in terms of like order of placement, uh, I feel pretty good about where his are.
Yeah. Well, click something I shouldn't. Um, no, I think Eugene Hart is a great player.
I think he's a fine player. I don't know that I'd say he's great, but
Oh, I think he's great defensively.
sure.
He's no Alex Conklin, if we want to go there.
He is an A tier defensive shortstop.
I don't know. I don't know how. Alex Conklin, he's a saint, and I am very grateful. I've somehow.
And no one will ever say anything wrong about or say anything negative about him.
I don't know if
He's your
that.
sweet and perfect baby boy.
I I think that infield range is not 80. I think it's more,
It's
but
secretly like 90.
like I don't know, to put nine zone rating up. I think, and he hit like okay, he only hit six doubles, but whenever I was paying attention to the live sims, I would be like, oh, Alex Conklin hit a double. I was like, what? How did that happen? The
It
two,
just it didn't happen that often. It just surprised you so much every time that you're like, "Holy
this is memorable, definitely.
sweet Moses." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a look at some of these other projections. Chicago
I,
Cubs.
I
So,
do have to go pretty soon. It's
yep,
been over an hour.
yep. We'll wrap this up. Chicago Cubs, Kansas City, New York Mets. They're all boring. Let's not talk about them. Washington. Washington is kind of maybe
N-
interesting.
See, none of this is terribly surprising.
Uh, yeah, if you've been following TGS Insider, these teams are good. Um, Texas Tony, that's kind of interesting. Um, Florida
It's formerly
Marlins,
Portland.
yes, formerly Portland Beavers. Okay, so let's end this on so Snaggle J is in this league. Snaggle J is the Cincinnati Reds. Snaggle, if you're in here, we're gonna break down your lineup real quick in the next like 2 or 3 minutes.
We're gonna
Um,
have a feel good moment for Chris.
yeah.
All
Uh,
right, I'm into it.
so he posts he continues his digital media legacy by posting Big Red Machine podcasts, which like uh, are up there in terms of quality content.
I cannot say enough good things about that content.
Yeah. So the projection systems haven't been kind to the Reds. Uh, the Reds, switched to like a very offensive park. They had the park that I had previously, which is a little complicated. Um, but they switched to kind of like a more home
They
run
switched to
focus.
actual Great American Ballpark.
Actual Great American Ballpark. I don't know ballparks very well. Big guys that they were kind of they traded for Cody Montesi. There's a joke in the league. Everyone's looking for a Cody Montesi type of bat. It'd be kind of weird to wield a bat that's like a person. So
Yeah, it'd be a very large, oddly shaped bat.
potentially heavy if it's made out of flesh.
Well, if it's made out of anything that's the ball isn't just going to go right through, it's going to be pretty heavy.
Mm.
Like imagine making a Cody Montesi shaped bat out of like maple,
Yeah, that's like swinging a tree.
basically.
They're definitely like great guys. Like Montesi's good. I don't know who this
Oh, he's from
random
Bend.
guy. Montesi,
Yeah,
Bend, Oregon. Nice.
yeah.
Rico Segura, another lots of green, lot bordering blue, great bat. Kraus was a second base, probably better as a left fielder. But still bat first, second baseman. Um, Noel Carlson was a pick from 2 years ago. This is probably like a really, really, really good middle infielder. Probably second base, but could probably play shortstop. 55 power VL as a shortstop is pretty
Hmm.
impressive. Redford Jones. I've made some inquiries about Redford Jones. This would be a bat I would definitely be interested in, um, especially with 4.5 more years of control. Um, great VL profile. Everett Ludford. Um Switch hitter, goes the right way. 70 range, so he's not going to lose you a lot of runs in the center field. Dainzer, great shortstop, needs a little bit better of bat, needs to kind of fill that out a little bit. That eye, great runner, great center fielder. Lots of options with Dainzer. Uh, Pitching, big gets on Agostino, Jacobson, Stutz, Deruin, probably start wearing where you see the drop off. Boyle in most recent podcast talked about this profile. It's interesting. Uh, with the kind of average BABIP, it'll be hard. I think that he's just going to give up too many hits. Not a lot of home runs, but too many hits. And Boss, same sort of profile. Anything you want to say in addition to this?
Yeah, and Chris, wherever you are, I hope you hear this. My reading of the way the couple projections we've seen so far have talked about the Reds is that they're kind of in a place where they're mid turning the corner, right? Like there have been a lot of really nice pieces brought in. There are still a few spots here and there where you could really improve the team, right? Um, so how this season goes is going to depend a lot on how aggressively they want to go after like their two or three missing pieces,
What
right?
what what do you think is
Um,
the biggest missing piece right now?
uh, what was I saying earlier? Is it a right fielder that we were
Right,
looking
yeah.
for?
So if we just kind of look, it's John Bonnie. Oh, no, that's left field. He has Kraus in left.
Yeah, it's
And
Bonnie.
yeah, Bonnie.
Like he's fine. I
Yeah,
think he's okay. But if you wanted to like go from a team that's competing to a team that's favored to make the playoffs, I think this is a player you could upgrade on, for example.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. He's got
I
Bonnie.
would love to have any of these players on my team. Like let's not get that twisted. Um,
Right.
but like there are definitely some spots where if he really wanted to, he could dig into the piggy bank and go buy a couple missing pieces with some prospects. And that may be a decision to make based on how the team's record looks in July.
It's definitely like
I
Snaggles.
think I think this is going to be a very scary team in 2032, kind of no matter what happens this year.
Right.
And I think that uh, where this team goes this season is going to depend a lot on how patient Snaggle wants to be.
Like he has Thompson coming up. Probably not this year. Maybe next year. But he's already 70 VR. That's gonna hit a ton of home
Right. So
runs.
like, do you go get somebody to bridge from what you have now to this guy, or
Yeah.
do you wait it out, right? Like,
Yeah, like Thompson could be like a 50 home run guy, especially in his park. Especially if that 70/70 turns into like a 60/75 VR, like that kind of split.
so like just summing that up, I like a lot of what Chris has gotten done this offseason.
Yep.
I like what he's building.
Okay.
I am very willing to believe the projections when they say that he's probably a few pieces short this year.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think he's close enough that if things break for him in April and May,
He could go
you
for
know,
it.
maybe he thinks about going and getting that piece or two, and pushes for 85, 88 wins.
He's got, yeah. I think he can figure stuff out.
This team has a puncher's chance at the playoffs as it is.
Yeah.
Um, which again is like more than the Expos can dream of this year or probably next.
Hmm.
Um, the NL is just really tough. I mean, like I'm sure the AL is as well, but I pay less attention because I don't play those teams as much because we're in the NL.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Okay.
like to make the playoffs, you have to pass up some number of like the Cubs and the Mets and the Phillies and the Pirates now and the Marlins and
The Monarchs,
I'm the the Monarchs for sure
Washington,
and the Nationals and like they're just
the Mets. You already said
the
Colorado. Somehow,
Colorado's also very very good.
yeah.
Um,
The
right?
Giants
There's
have
just
been
they're
outside
just
looking in.
not a lot of easy wins in the NL anywhere.
Hmm.
So um, right? Like I haven't tried yet because we're nowhere close to being there. But that jump from like fringe contender to playoff favorite has got to be enormous.
Well, I was 81 and 81. The last sim last year, this was my first year winning or not having a losing season, and there was a slim chance at the last sim if I went like 7-0 and everyone else went like 0-7 that I would have made the playoffs, and I ended
You
up.
you absolutely I think his team this year is kind of close to where your team was last year in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just like, yeah, the last 2 weeks or the last two sims were torpedoed me basically, but I was in the
I think
playoff hunt until like I think July or something, and then I went like I had an 0-7 sim, and then I had like a bunch of. Once I had the 0-7 sim, I went a bunch
mid
of like three.
August you were kind of despairing, and then like you had this glimmer of hope as we got into mid September.
Yeah. So hopefully, our friend
No,
Snaggle J has that kind of
his
torment.
his his position players are plenty good to make the playoffs,
Yeah.
and pitching is super random. So,
And it's like, so this is kind of
if
interesting.
his staff has a good year, he's going to the playoffs.
Right. This will be kind of interesting. So these waypoints are going to get adjusted, right? We're going to just sim the 4 games, and then this gets
Yes.
adjusted here. So I have an entire week against Snaggle in
Yeah.
what was
Yeah,
that?
that's a thing I'm looking to fix or change in the next version of the scheduler, but there was no safeguard against having two series against the same team in the same week. So
This is going to be what? This is going to be Tuesday sim. So Snaggle and I are going to have lots of words by
there are
when.
going to be there's going to be some kung fu fighting.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks, Michael, for coming on. I know I've taken a lot of your
Anytime.
time. This has been great. Good luck tonight. We face off
We do.
in PNC.
I I will be glad to go 1-3.
1-3.
That's sort of where I am. Like
Okay.
I
I,
feel
I
like if my team takes one game every series
yeah.
and occasionally wins one, I'll be very happy.
I'll be glad to go 1-3 as well, as long as I don't get shut out.
All right, we're gonna go 1-1 each, and we're just gonna have like a giant picnic across the middle two games.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sweet.
All right. So as Axel is streaming, so I'm gonna rate into him. So yeah, thanks everyone for
Bye.
coming out and learning more about TGS.
Bye,
And yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Have a good night. Bye.